Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with the World or Universe card. I don't usually get that card as the very first card, right? It's kind of meant to be the last card. It is the completion of a cycle. It is the completion of your great work, of your life's work. Interesting. Let's put this into some context. I wonder if we're going to get a little bit of a peek into the future here and see what it's going to be like when you finish this work, this path that you're on. Right? What is your magnum opus? What is your life's work, your great work? Well, you get a lot of court cards. A lot of court cards. A lot of court cards. Is it going to be another one? No, thankfully. More court cards. Fire energy. More court cards. Your world, your universe, is peopled with a lot of people, right? There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 court cards. There's a lot of people in your life that are going to be affected by what you're doing. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. We're going to set it here. Alien Simon Mork Ripley right on top. That card is not going to move until the very end of the reading. But it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. Okay? If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what it is, put your prediction in the comments below. Let's do it together. Right? Let's exercise our intuition as a group practice. Okay? I think it'd be fun. But first, let's look around the room again. We've got, obviously, major arcana here with the universe and with the High Priestess. We've got some fire. We've got some air. Right? Fire and air. Now, we've got a lot of court cards. And what I say about the court cards, whenever we get 3 or more court cards, I don't care what they are, to me it means that there's a lot of people involved here. And a lot could be, it could be 6, 5, could be 3, could be a million people, right? Could be the entire population of North America or something. We don't always know how our life, our actions, our plans are going to affect other people. And I wonder if this is really a reading about, not even so much about you, but about the other people that you're affecting, right? We've never looked at it from this side. We've had a lot of Aquarius readings recently, right? Because I feel like you're going through a big shift. I feel like you are really, the Aquarius energy is fulfilling some sort of destiny here that has far-reaching implications. In fact, it reaches to the edges of the known universe, right? So perhaps our readings up till now have always looked at things from your point of view, right? Have always looked at your energy and kind of the things that you're going through and what the recommendations are for you. But I think a little bit here is us trying to see all of the different people whose lives you are affecting, right? And what kind of an influence are you on these other people? How are you affecting their lives? Yeah? I think that's an interesting way to look at things, Try to see it from other people's perspectives. And it could be that you're right in the middle of this. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that we don't have the court card representing Aquarius. We don't have any of the fixed, we don't have the fixed air sign here. You know, we have earth, we have fire, water, and air, but we don't have the fixed air, the Aquarius court card, which I find interesting because I think that you're in here, you're in this world, you're in the center of this universe. And I think this is everybody in your life that you're affecting. Yeah. Well, let me finish what I was saying about the court cards. They do, together collectively as a group, mean that there are a lot of people kind of looking at you, right? But individually, they mean something specific about you personally. Okay, so we're going to look at it both ways. It's a group, but then it's also, these are individual aspects of yourself. Okay, both can be true at the same time. All right. So, the world or universe. What is your end game? What is your great work? What does the accomplishment of that great work look like to you? Now, we can say that, you know, the great work is the uniting of our soul with the universal soul, with the universe, with God, goddess, deity, universal mind, universal energy, the attainment of nirvana, the attainment of annihilation, like whatever you want to call it, right? Returning to the absolute, that sort of thing, you know. But on the physical plane, you know, what is your great work? What is your magnum opus? What is your legacy going to be? What is it that everybody is going to be looking at after you're gone? Right? What are you establishing? Because I feel like you're doing something that is affecting the world. There's all these people kind of that are looking in at you. All of these people whose lives you're touching, you're influencing, you're affecting people, you know? But what is the thing that we're leaving behind? Maybe these are all your kids, right? Maybe these are the people that come after you. Maybe these are your students. You know, maybe this is just the public at large. Maybe this is just supposed to represent the world. What are you doing for the world? Right? And are we thinking with what we're doing, are we looking at it as something that's kind of general, right? Impersonal? Or are you focused on connecting with each of these people kind of one-to-one? You know, this is a very impersonal card in some ways, you know. So maybe part of this message today is that we really need to start focusing on the one-to-one connections. We have to make this work, this journey that you're on, feels like it needs to be made more personal, more interpersonal, right? And less impersonal. So we get this is a very impersonal card. It's the Queen of Swords. You're keeping something secret. You're keeping your feelings, you're keeping you very secret. It's almost like you're keeping your private life very private, but outwardly, you know, you have this persona or this, you know, an interface with the world. This is a card that kind of tries to rise above the population and conduct business up here because that's where it's safe. It's safer up here because that water energy that's in here can be protected, right? The water energy can be protected up here in the air, but look at the water energy here in the Princess of Cups. This is earth of water. This is water energy here that isn't rising up away from things to be safe. This, the Princess of Cups, is water energy that's flowing down to the earth, mingling with everybody else, right? So I get this feeling of like we're trying to remain a little bit aloof, a little bit abstracted, a little bit impersonal, you know. But the idea here is that there's a shift toward intermingling. There's a shift toward more personal touch to things. Okay? And I'm interested in this, the kind of correspondence here between these two, between the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. See, right now I think that you're trying to remain a little bit detached, a little bit objective, aloof, and impersonal. Because I think at one point in your life, you tried to get a little bit too personal, or you tried to intermingle, you tried to bring it down and maybe get closer to people or open up to people. And I think it was a rougher experience. Got fire on the outside, right? So maybe this is a bit of an explanation of why we're a little bit aloof right now, why we're trying to be impersonal. I think it's because the last time we kind of let our water flow right down to the earth like this princess of cups, I think maybe we got burned. I think maybe it was a rough experience. Okay. And so instead of kind of doing that and having to defend ourselves or having to get angry or having it become kind of a fight, we've decided to just detach a little bit. Does that make sense? Is that resonating with you? Because I can feel that happening. The last time we were kind of involved in this more interpersonal way, it seemed like there was a lot of friction. It seemed like a very abrasive, there wasn't enough, it was kind of rough, And now I think we've shifted to just kind of staying away, staying aloof, right? Detaching. Okay. So I think that's changing though now. I think it's changing because here we've got the impulse to kind of swoop back down. So I think underneath it all, here's the Knight of Swords. I think underneath it all, you really want to connect. You want to make things more personal. You want to put a personal touch on your life. While you're involved with this, magnum opus, that I think is obviously meant to influence the world, to influence this group, or it's something that you're leaving for the group, or it's your legacy or whatever. I think that you want to have a more personal and direct experience with these people right here and now. Right? In the great here and now. And I think that's the impulse here with the Knight of Swords, right? And this might just be enough to courage to reach out, contact people, to be the one that, and it seems like it would be a shift, right? Suddenly now you're like making phone calls and inviting people over, or inviting yourself to their house, or especially with the holidays coming up, it feels like this is a time that you maybe if you stay the course, you would be kind of in the background. You'd stay home. You'd be a little detached, a little impersonal, But you might surprise people by taking the initiative and reaching out. Making the first move, inviting people, or inviting yourself, or, you know what I mean? Starting the conversation with this one. Because I think that you're starting to appreciate, here's the Princess of Pentacles. You're starting to appreciate the abundance and success in your life is more enjoyable with others. Right? This whole reading really could just be about you not wanting to go to the holiday, gatherings. But I think that there's a certain sense of love and warmth that you're after, the sense of connection and community. This is the Princess of Pentacles. It's nature. It's all of the entire natural world, right? Taken as one kind of whole being. And to me, it just feels connected. It feels warm. It feels supportive. Maybe it's getting a little cold in outer space, right? And you're looking for that warmth and that connection. Even though we don't have the fondest memories, we haven't had the best experience with it. maybe we're willing to try again because this is the potential, or this is what we're aspiring to. We want this in our life. We want this connection, right? This feeling of being supported, of supporting others, of sharing resources, sharing a meal. That card is really like enjoying things together. Yeah. And, well, the Six of Swords, basically a card that is saying you got to follow your heart on this one. Intellectually, you might be saying, I'm just going to stay home. You know, I do better when I'm just kind of not directly involved with anyone. And maybe this isn't family. Maybe this is just life generally. I don't know where this is playing out. But with the Six of Swords, the intellect now is saying, all right, I'm going to defer to the heart. And if you're feeling this kind of, because there's water here, right? There's heart here. But it's covered up. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, and then we've got the Six of Wands, which is it's water and it's water and air together, right? It's thinking and feeling together as allies, working together for once, right? Because there's water in this one. The queens are the watery aspect of the suit that they're in. So there's water of fire. There's water of air. And now there's water that the mind just says, you know what, I've got to it's been here all along, but it's been covered up by fire, covered up here by air. And now it's kind of like the air is just saying, it's time to just follow the heart. You know, this is someone who kind of has that surprise change of heart, right? And surprises the family member when you come over with the sweet potato pie, you know? And I think you would be welcomed. That's the thing here. That's the princess of Pentacles there. But we're going to go to the path of the serpent now. And as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. It's totally free. Hit the like button. Leave a comment for me. I really love reading the comments from everybody. Okay, Princess of Cups. We talked about that a little bit. And that is now kind of the water energy that is doing the thing, that is allowing the heart and the feelings and the emotions to be expressed, to mingle with everybody else. And it's kind of a vulnerable thing. You know, we're opening ourselves up. We're letting our emotions out. We're letting people in too, right? Instead of remaining aloof and up there, now we're just down here with the rest of everybody. And, you know, it's kind of a new thing. Maybe it's going to take a minute to get your sea legs, you know. But I think that this is, and this is, of course, this is you bringing that sweet potato pie to the holiday gathering. This is kind of the card that says you gotta follow what your intuition is saying. You gotta follow the synchronicities in your life. You've got to follow the fish in the percolator. I think for Aquarius, we've been getting the fish in the percolator, the Princess or Page of Cups, a lot. Okay, and I think that this is another one of those instances where you have to follow what your intuition, follow the signs, follow the synchronicity. All right, don't allow your stubborn intellect to get in the way or convince you that, you know, you've got to stick to a certain methodology or a certain persona or a certain disposition. That you can open yourself up and you can maybe allow yourself to be more emotional, to be more sensitive, to feel things more, you know. Instead of trying to be detached and impersonal, get personal. Get personal with yourself, get personal with life. Yeah. The Five of Wands is a little interesting because this is in the position of the environment. So I think that there's a mix-up here. And what I mean is I think this card came out in the wrong place. I think these cards should be switched, to be honest with you, but they're not. I'm not going to switch them. They came out this way. I think you're expecting fights. You're expecting friction. You're expecting there to be just conflict in the environment. With the Five of Wands, it's about strife and fighting. I think this is what we're expecting, you know? And this is what we are kind of being asked to use. That's why I think these cards are switched around. But maybe this is our expectation, and it's kind of one of these things where if we're expecting it to be rough, if we're expecting it to be a disaster, if we're expecting to just not get along with people, whether this is a holiday gathering or not, this is an energy that really just doesn't get along with people. Kind of grumpy, you know, just generally doesn't get along with people. And I think that this is the expectation, right? But I think we've got this high priestess here for a reason. This is the difficulty. And maybe these cards aren't switched. Maybe this is the right place. Maybe you're expecting conflict. The difficult thing for you is to just accept. High priestess, just allow things to be what they are. Accept the way things flow. Don't try to force your will. Don't try to force your expectations on the world. Accept the way things go. Right? The high priestess. Arms are open in an attitude of reception and receiving and openness, accepting the way things are going. Whatever happens is going to happen. Maybe there's going to be conflict. Maybe there's going to be argument. Maybe we're going to throw the mashed potatoes at each other. Just accept it, you know. Allow it all into you because it's all necessary. It's all part of life. It's all part of the experience. Okay? And I think the difficult thing right now is for you to relinquish a little bit of control. 5 of Wands is very much about control and wanting to control the environment. This is saying, don't try to control the way things go. You're just down here. You're water now, remember? You're not the air. You're not the fire. You're the water now. You're just flowing. You're just settling where you settle. You're just going with the flow, going with the currents, right? Maybe you're the fish in the water. And that's the high priestess to me, right? Don't try to control what happens. Just be part of it. Just allow it to naturally happen, you know. And, of course, we have more court cards at the end because that's kind of all we're reading today is court cards. We've got the Knight of Pentacles at the end. And this, I think, is the end of the day. It looks like dusk. It's the end of the day, and you're just about to go home, and you just think, that was really an amazing experience. Maybe it was a disaster. Maybe there was problems and conflicts and whatever. But I think that you're going to use all of these kinds of experiences, and we're just using the analogy of the holiday party or holiday gathering, okay? All of your interactions with life and with the world are affecting who you're becoming, right? And I think that you're starting to understand what this, and we started with the Universal World card. What is your magnum opus? What is your big project? What is your big work? What is your great work? What is your legacy? What is this? What is the end of this path? The grand finale? What is the culmination of all this work? Well, it's you. It's you. So I think you're starting to understand what you are creating. You're creating yourself. And you are the world. You are the universe, right? So to me, it kind of feels like there is a shift in our spiritual vision with this one. I think it's like, I think you're beginning to see yourself reflected in the world a little bit. You know, and you're understanding how you're not just a product. You're not just kind of the end result. The work that you're doing is not just what lump of earth you're going to be able to give your kids or whatever. That you are the interactions that you have. That you are the process of life, not the product of life. Right? Very interesting. Let's do the mystery card now. This one started to get a little emotional for me, to be honest with you. Okay, mystery card. Thank you, Alien Simon Mork Ripley. If you have an idea about this card, put your answer down in the comments. All right. I'm just going to say it's going to be the star card to show you. It's a reflection of you. You know, yesterday we did a reading. We saw the star card in the position of the environment, seeing yourself reflected in the environment. And now we have this interesting connection there. If you haven't watched yesterday's Aquarius reading, go watch that one. They all connect. Okay, yeah, so I'm thinking either the star here or just another court card. Maybe the fish in the percolator, maybe the prince, or in this case, the king of swords to represent the Aquarius energy in court card form. All right. Let's see what it is. Oh. Well, I was wrong. That doesn't happen very often. But here's the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is kind of a card that's like, you know, kind of looks like there might be a holiday party going in there, but these figures, the people here are just kind of walking on by, hiking through the snow, missing out on this opportunity. So this card is kind of a confirmation too, because it's talking about change. It's talking about changing our behavior. It's talking about doing something differently. It's talking about leaving the house, for one thing. Leaving the creature comforts of home to go, you know, weather the storm and hike through the snow to get somewhere else, right? Like, why? There's got to be a pretty good reason for me to get out of bed and go out in the snow. But this is exactly what's being called for, you know? And it's kind of, it's one of those things where, yeah, it may take some effort getting started, but it's going to be very worth it. And the biggest difficulty is just kind of getting dressed and getting out of the house. Once you're moving, then it's easy. It's just getting started that is kind of the hard part, you know. And this card is also the change, the Five of Pentacles, talking about the change, I think, between the change in our spiritual vision. And it's the understanding of ourselves as the process. We are what we do, right? And the Five is all about doing. It's not a Four of Pentacles. It's not a Six of Pentacles. It's the Five. It's motion. It's a function. We are the process, right? We are the process. And the Five is also the pentagram, the symbol of the human being, which is the microcosm, which is a reflection of the macrocosm. It all comes together. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Aquarius, but for every sign. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. We're all in this together.